Hi students, today we are going to discuss another chapter from the history of class 7, the Bhakti and the Sufi movements. These two movements during the medieval period had great impact in the life of the people, or it influenced the life of the people in a big way. So we are going to study in detail about the Bhakti movements and the Sufi movements. Today we are going to discuss the Bhakti movement. In another class, we will discuss about the Sufi movements. The two religious movements spread across India during the medieval period were the Bhakti and Sufi movements. These were the movements which influenced the life of the people in a big way. There are different causes for the rise of the Bhakti movement. It was meaningless, elaborate, and complex rituals and superstitions had crept into Hinduism. The domination of priestly class and the increasing rigidity of the class system alienated a large section of people. Islam, with its emphasis on universal brotherhood and equality of all, attracted the attention of the so-called lower castes. An urgent need was felt to purify Hinduism of its existing evils. Thus, Bhakti movements began as a reform movement. So we know that in Hinduism, during the medieval period, there were different classes, and the upper class and the lower class divisions, and those who were in the upper class always looked down upon the lower castes. So there were always a lot of complications and fights, lack of freedom for the lower strata of the society. So because of all this, there were a lot of problems in Hinduism. And the Brahmins, the priestly class, they looked down upon the lower castes. Whereas during that time, Islam was spreading the ideas of universal brotherhood and equality. So many were attracted to that religion. So many of the leaders felt that and felt that it needs, the Hinduism needs a reformation, a change. So that is how the Bhakti movement came up. What is the Bhakti movement? Bhakti means devotion. The teachers or saints of Bhakti composed hymns and sang bhajans glorifying God. Alvas and Nayanas. The Bhakti movement became popular in South India from the 8th century onwards. The Alva, those who worship Lord Vishnu, and Nayanar, those who worship Lord Shiva, helped popularize Bhakti. Both preached the path of surrendering oneself to God. These saint poets traveled from place to place, singing hymns in praise of God. During the early medieval period, Shankaracharya and Ramanuja played a major role in spreading Bhakti in South India. Shankaracharya believed that there is no difference between the soul of God and the soul of human beings. the way to salvation was through knowledge. Ramanuja taught people to surrender themselves to God. He treated the he stressed that by loving God and doing good deeds alone could the soul be saved. He considered bhakti to be more important than knowledge. In course of time, the bhakti movement spread to other parts of India. Ramananda was the spearhead in this movement in North India. He opposed the caste system. He had many disciples from the so-called lower caste. Prominent among them were Kabir, a weaver, Sena, a barber, Ravidas, a cobbler, and two women, Padmavati and Surasari. Kabir preached that there is only one God and Ram, Rahim, Hari, and Allah are different names of the same God. He criticized rituals, superstitions, idol worship, and the caste system. He preached the message of universal brotherhood and emphasized Hindu Muslim unity. His followers were known as Kabir Pandis. He preached his message through poems called dohas or couplets. The Holy Guru Granth Sahib also contains over 500 verses by Kabir. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism. Like Kabir, Guru Nanak emphasized the worship of one God. He rejected class and caste differences. He started the practice of langas or common kitchens where people of all classes and castes would have meals together. He was also against rituals. He attracted a large number of followers. They were primarily peasants, artisans, craftsmen, and traders. Nanak's teachings are in the form of verses. These have been compiled in the Guru Granth Sahib, also called the Adi Granth. So we have to remember Guru Granth Sahib, also known as the Adi Granth. Chaitanya popularized Krishna Bhakti in Bengal and composed many hymns in praise of Lord Krishna. He emphasized that music was the most important means of expressing bhakti. He condemned the caste system and the domination of the priests. Mirabai, a Rajput princess, was a devotee of Lord Krishna. She composed numerous bhajans expressing her love and devotion for Lord Krishna. In Maharashtra, the Bhakti movement was popularized by the following saints. Sant Janeshwar popularized the worship of Vidhoba, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He criticized the caste system and rejected idol worship. Tukaram popularized Krishna Bhakti. He composed verses in praise of Lord Krishna. The Bhakti saints taught the following. Selfless love and devotion are the means to come close to God. Purity of heart and mind is important. Closeness to God cannot be achieved through ceremonies, rituals, and sacrifices or by renouncing the world. All human beings are equal. God did not create caste divisions, nor did He create Hindus and Muslims. So people should be tolerant of one another. Helping fellow human beings is the true test of bhakti. Knowledge is an essential part of bhakti. It can be gained through a teacher. A devotee can express bhakti through devotional music. The Bhakti movement played an important role in uniting the Hindus and Muslims. The Bhakti saints preached in the language spoken by the common people. This encouraged the development of regional languages. The Bhakti movement helped to reform and revive Hinduism. So, Bhakti movement had a great impact in the life of the common people.